Hey guys, it's Scott here and welcome to Leicester Till I Die TV. This is the weekly roundup where we look at all things Leicester City that has happened in the last week and then a mini preview of things that are to come in the next 7 days. So if you do enjoy this, please do make sure that you hit the like button down below, the little thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos such as these as well as other ones talking about build-ups and previews and then match reviews as well, then you can also subscribe to the channel. If you want to see my personal channel, then I do a lot of FIFA based stuff, so if you want to see that, my link will be in the description as well. But without further ado, let's get into what has happened at the club in the last few days. So starting things off with a big signing for the club, we have gone and got ourselves Cengiz Under from AS Roma. Now, this is an interesting deal because it seems to be structured very, very well for us. We are reportedly paying a roughly 3 million loan fee for 1 season. It was initially reported that we were then going to have an obligation to buy, which means that we would need to buy him. We wouldn't have a say in it. We would have to buy him at the end of the season for roughly 20-25 mil. However, what seems to have changed along the way, is that it is now an option to buy. So, based on how he's played in the past and everything like that, he should be really good for us and he should fit our system and potentially be the Riyadh replacement that we've been waiting for years. However, if his year here doesn't work out too well, then we will only pay the loan fee and then we will say, no, we don't want him. So that is really, really good for us. Now, assuming he does well, we'll obviously pay the money and it means that we actually have a bit more cash right now to spend on other areas. Specifically, centre-back seems to be the one that we are looking at. Brendan has even come out and said himself that is the position that we need, and there's no hiding away from it. So, Under should be pretty solid. For those of you that haven't ever watched him, he's basically a left-footed right-winger that's pretty tricky, loves a one-on-one, so he has the confidence and ability to beat a man, which is great because we don't really seem to have that in many of our wingers. But he also has good vision and has an eye for goal as well. So basically everything that we've wanted from a winger signing on the right-hand side since Mahrez left after we won the league and everything like that. So hopefully it's going to work out for him. I have high hopes for the lad. He's actually pretty young as well, which is great for us because if he does turn out to be a bit of a star, then we can save a load of money by buying someone that is younger rather than already proven, and it means that we can either then sell him on in a few years for a lot more money, or we've got a really good asset that is worth a lot, that is doing great things for us for many years to come. So, well done to the club on getting good old Cengo in. Best mates with Söyüncü as well, for those that don't know, has been with him since they were back in Turkey, playing for the same team when they were teenagers. And now, nearly 10 years later, they're being reunited again for a club rather than country-based reason, which is awesome. So he should bed in very, very well. I'm assuming that Cnegiz has lauded our praises and said that the club is amazing, and that is one of the reasons why he may potentially have signed. So great news on all fronts for that. Now, in terms of other signings, again, as I mentioned previously, we are looking at a centre-back. The same name is popping up every single week. It's Wesley Fofana. Now, there are rumours, as I'm recording this, it is the Wednesday that this is being uploaded. There are rumours that last night we had a third bid rejected. And a lot of people are saying it's because of Claude Puel, right? But surely he doesn't have the final say on whether a club accepts a £30 million bid for a teenager or not. You'd think that he would be able to say, yeah, I don't really want to sell him, so if possible, can we keep him? But he's not going to be able to come in and say, no. It's going to be up to the club. So the question is whether we just need to get a little bit higher in our valuation of him to meet theirs, and then he'll sign. Sky have said, not that they're insanely reliable nowadays, but they have said that talks are progressing. So steps in the right direction is what we're led to believe right now. We are also heavily linked now with potentially going to our backup option of Jonathan Tah, who plays for Leverkusen, and potentially getting him on loan. So I'd be very surprised if by the end of the transfer window, which is coming up very soon now, just over 10 days, I think it's 12 days from when I'm recording this, is the end of the transfer window, where we could potentially see something happen. I'd be amazed if we don't sign a centre-back. I would be pretty surprised if we sign anyone else. but I think a centre-back is our number one priority at this stage, and so even if it turns out to be a loan of someone, we'll get someone in, right? Whether they're the highest of our priorities and the highest on our list of targets and everything like that, we'll have to wait and see. But that is pretty much it for transfer news. There isn't really anything else going on, not even with outgoings. Like Adrian Silva, Slimani, Gazal, Diabate, players like this that are just in the wilderness don't really have proper links to go anywhere. So are they going to stay? Who knows? So transfer news is a little on the down low after we signed Under, and now we just have to wait for some more. So let's get into a little bit of looking back at the results over the last week and then looking forward to the week ahead. So a look back at our latest result, which was the Burnley game, our first home game of the season. Obviously, fans not going to be allowed back in stadia for quite some time, it seems like, due to the latest measures that have been implemented, which is frustrating, but it's for the safety of everyone involved. So our first home game was at the weekend, and we played Burnley, and we won 4-2. A great victory for us, and keeps our confidence growing and flowing right now. Nice amount of goals again, without Vardy scoring. Now, some people think that that's a bad thing, that your striker isn't scoring, but he got goals in the first game, right? And what it means is that we are spreading our goals throughout our team, which means if Vardy got injured, we wouldn't need to rely on him as heavily, which is perfect. Obviously, hopefully he doesn't get injured, and hopefully he gets the golden boot. But if we are getting goals from our fullbacks and other players on the pitch, Dennis Pratt, my goodness, what a goal, then this is the perfect scenario. And I'd like to talk a little bit about our formation and our team and what I personally thought about it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. So, we won 4-2, right? Both our goals that we conceded were due to physicality in the air, Justin getting beat by Dunn and by Chris Wood. Now, arguments about whether the first one was a foul, as he did push in with two hands, but we'll assume that it wasn't a foul because it was given. Now, I thought Justin was a little bit suspect defensively, but as a left back, he looks great going forward. And when you compare that to Tim on the right, he's actually looked very good defensively, but going forward, he's incredible, right? So both of our fullbacks right now seem to have the freedom to both attack at the same time, which is not really something that you saw that much last season. And I think that was the difference between us and some other teams that really push their fullbacks forward. You see it a lot in three at the back formations, such as Wolves and teams like that. When one wing-back goes forward, you will see the other one attacking. Whereas with us, it seemed to be one or the other, not both. So now, I think the prime example is Castan going forward and potentially whipping in a cross or trying to attempt a cross, and you will see Justin at the back post and vice versa. So we now have more people overloading the box, which for me has been a real frustration when watching us in recent years. We just don't have enough people pushing forward. It's like we're scared to commit to an attack in case we get countered. Whereas now we seem to just be going for it, which to me, it's more entertaining and we're getting more goals because of it, which is great. So you got Castan going forward on one side, Justin on the other. With the formation that we're playing with Mendy sat just in front of the back four, it means that Tielemans and Pratt have more freedom to basically do what they want, which is incredible. So that's why you've seen Pratt get forward. He's already got a goal and an assist this season, which is amazing. Yuri is running the show right now. His pass through to Castan for the Eric Peters own goal, sublime. If Kevin De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes do that, they'll be talking about it for months. Tielemans is on it right now, which is incredible. And it just shows that we seem to be playing well as a unit. Mendy is actually doing pretty damn well, filling in for Wilf at CDM. And I like that. I like that a lot because he's done pretty well in the past when he's come on as a sub, and he just hasn't really got that much praise because he was supposedly brought in as the Kante replacement and didn't fill his boots, really. Whereas then Wilf came in and was this huge presence at the defensive midfielder slot. And so again, Mendy was then directly compared to Wilf and was completely different to him. But I feel like he's doing a very good job. He's a tidy player. He wins the ball back quite a lot and then moves it on to our other midfielders who are now doing 1-2s, getting forward, especially when you've got Perez and Barnes bombing forward. Barnes looking really, really sharp right now as well, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think he's going to do good things this season. So I'm really excited about how the team are playing, and it seems that most of our fans are feeling the same way. That there is a sense of confidence that we didn't really have at the start of the season with our injuries, transfers and everything not really being incredible at first. Now they're looking a bit better. And so myself, again, if you remember from a few weeks ago, I put us to finish 10th this season. Now, I still think that things are going to get a lot harder once the Europa League and all of the cup competitions are underway, although we may get knocked out tonight of the Carabao Cup, depending on what team Arsenal and us put out, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I think it will get a lot harder, and so we've had a great start. I mean, we're top of the league. After 2 games, we're top of the Premier League, which I remember the last time that happened. I was on holiday in Cyprus watching the games, and then doing a little match review of my own and looking at the Premier League table thinking, this is pretty nice, isn't it? Right? And then we went on to do magical things. I don't think we'll do that this season. However, you can't ask for much better, right? We've played some really, really good football, and it's entertaining football that is also winning us games. It's perfect right now. There are a few blips, but we're getting through them, and that's the main thing. Like, we came from behind to win against Burnley, which is something that it feels like we've been very, very, very poor at doing as of late. So it seems that we go one goal down and we just lose our heads. So very, very good to see that. And I was questioning whether the players would be able to bounce back from the lack of confidence that they would have had from the end of the season. But it looks like we've gone into the season with real gusto. And I'm excited, which then leads us on to our next 2 games. The first being Arsenal in the Cup tonight. Now, I think it's pretty much impossible to do a prediction. And the reason for that is I have absolutely no idea what team both of us are going to put out. We know that there's going to be rotation. There's going to be a lot of rotation. We know Maddison is going to start with some youngsters. Whether we're going to see Under, we'll have to wait and see. That could be really, really nice to just sort of bed him in with the first game in the Cup. Arsenal's team, who knows what they're going to play, right? They're probably going to rest Aubameyang and Lacazette and probably play Nketiah. Players like Saka and Maitland-Niles are going to be their main guys. So it's going to be very tricky to predict, but I wouldn't mind us getting knocked out if we're not going to win it, right? In the first round. Because this is the least important of the 4 competitions that we are playing in this season. And so, unless we are going to win it, it would probably help us massively to not have those extra games in our schedule, which is already going to be jam-packed with the Europa League this season. So, I know it's controversial to say it, but unless... I mean, the thing is as well, even if we win this game tonight, we then most likely play Liverpool in the next round. So... it's whether we just sort of give our lesser players a bit of a chance, and if they get through, they get through. Perfect. And then we do that for the rest of the competition as well. Or we go hard and we try and win the whole thing. I don't think we'll go down that route. I think we're really going to focus on Prem and Europa League. I think even FA Cup, we're going to put out secondary team, and if they get far enough, then we'll start putting our starters in and everything like that. But yeah, I think Carabao Cup today is a bit of a write-off. If we get through, awesome. If not, I don't think many people will be that upset. It's not as if we would be getting knocked out by a League 2 team or anything like that either, is it? So it's not too bad. However, the big one, Man City at the weekend. Now, Man City did beat Wolves the other day. Their season opener was against them, as their first game was postponed due to them having a late start to the season, like Man U. And they looked indifferent. At times, they dominated. I mean, they've got De Bruyne and a lot of other players that are very, very good as well. If De Bruyne turns up, we get smashed. If he doesn't, maybe we have a chance. Their defence still looks suspect. And Wolves exploited that. They could have easily scored 3 or 4 goals in the second half against them, because they just shut off for about 20, 25 minutes. They did manage to get one back through Jimenez, but then ended up losing 3-1 anyway. But they are there for the taking. And this is the thing with these kind of teams at this stage in the season. They don't really have form behind them or everything like that. They don't have all their players fit. This is probably our best chance to beat Man City. Do I think we'll do it? I'd be surprised. They have De Bruyne, and it's as simple as that. He is just on another level to most players in the Premier League. So, again, if he turns up, we lose. And we've got to hope that he has an off day and we can exploit their weak defence right now. So, I'm slightly confident that we will have a good go. Well, no, I'm very confident we'll have a good go, especially with how we've played so far and our sort of slightly newer style of football with the fullbacks actually really bombing forward now. So, I'm pretty excited about the Man City game. I might not be at the 90th minute, but quietly confident that we have a chance. But again, they have so many good players. If their world-class players turn up on the day, what can you do, right? What can you do? They're literally some of the best in the world. So we could be in trouble, but I don't think if we lose that it will be much of a knock to our confidence because we're up against such a good team. And as long as we have a go, right? If we lose, but we are trying the whole time, we put in a solid performance that is respectable, I think that is all that the fans can ask for. And so that is my hope for the Man City game. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. But for now, that is this week's weekly roundup. Hopefully you did enjoy it. I'll see you again next week for another one, hopefully after 2 more victories. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.